All right, guys, we're going to wait a couple of minutes before we get started with this live broadcast. Hopefully, everyone is having a great day. We're going to wait a couple of minutes out before we get started. If you will be tuning in, I would like to thank you first. And as we get close to the end of the year, I think this is a great time to reflect and be reminded of the challenges that we all face day in and day out. 2025, as we all know, has been such a roller coaster for a lot of people. So we're going to talk about that and dive into that momentarily. Please stand by. And again, I want to thank you all for tuning in. Oh, we made a camera adjustment. Hello, everyone. Coach Payne here. I hope everyone is having an amazing day. In about a minute, we're going to get started. Thank you all again for tuning in. 2025, and if you survived it, if you made it this far, can you go a little bit further in 2026? I know there's going to be a lot of questions that some people are going to ask and talk about during the course of this video. This topic is going to be very sensitive for some people, I'm sure, and I'm going to do my very best to dive into it. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my struggles as well. So I think we all have to know, as a human being, no matter what you have going on in your life, sooner or later you're going to run into some roadblocks. You're going to get pushed off course at times in your life, and it's just important that you understand the significance of survival mode, or as I like to call it, living mode, because surviving is like you're at the brink of giving up, I believe, but you're not giving up yet. So we're going to dive into that. So in about exactly 30 seconds, we're going to go right into it. And ladies and gentlemen, as I indicated before, live videos, in my opinion, it's just me being me. This is not scripted. And as I told you before, I don't do scripts. A lot of the things that I talk about is genuinely from the heart. Depending on where my mode is at, my mood is, and if I have something to talk about. I do realize a lot of times people do tend to get on social media. There's a lot of things that people talk about in general. A lot of influencers, I know they speak on certain topics. I like to sometimes capture the moment and do my best to make it as broad as possible, because everything just doesn't move in one direction. So we're going to hopefully type into that and get things going. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, welcome, and thank you so very much for tuning in. This is probably my fourth, I believe, live video that I've done in the last few weeks or so, and I want to continue to interact with my fan base and do my best to give people some insight on my own personal determination and drive, and what makes me who I am today, and how I get through my circumstances and challenges. There are a few topics I like to talk about. Some of these topics obviously were brought to my attention. Of course, I've had a lot of people that reached out to me and asked me several questions, and I just kind of took some mental notes, of course, and wrote them down to discuss. So before we get into that, I would like to say to you all right now, this has been a very difficult year for a lot of people, okay? Not just you, for me, for thousands, maybe even millions of people around the world. And we have to come to a conclusion that life isn't easy. That's a fact. Life is good, though. Life is a gift. Life is a blessing. It's not a curse. Sometimes you question yourself. You ask yourself at times, was I born to suffer? That's one of the questions that someone asked me some weeks back, and it dawned on me, and I thought, wow, it's a very unique question for someone to ask. Was I born to suffer? The truth is, ladies and gentlemen, we were born for a purpose. Now, what does that purpose mean? It's unforeseen, because there is an unforeseen purpose out there for all of us. We have this happen. We really do. We have a tendency and this ability to build, but we also have this ability to destroy. And sometimes people lose their way, and sometimes people find their way. But no matter what you do, you have to make sure that you're still going down the right path in your life. It doesn't always come to a point where you feel once you've gotten to rock bottom that it's over for you. You shouldn't even think that way. Although you feel that you're at the end of your rope, believe me, I've been there. I know what that pain feels like. I know the sense of loss. I have been in situations, and even now, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, challenges are always surrounding me every day. Dealing with people, running a business, dealing with my own personal issues within myself. As I said before, no human being can escape the struggle of life. I've also indicated to most of you in the past that you may see someone from afar that is very popular, very successful, and you think that they're having the best days of their lives. But behind closed doors, some of those people are suffering greater than you think. Let's say, having money, is a part of living, right? We need finances to live. You need resources. And when you have obtained that, maybe in most cases you may feel you've made it. But where's your peace? Where's your peace of mind? Do you feel that you have all of the things you could ever want, but you don't have peace? And a lot of people are struggling this year with peace of mind. 2025, in my opinion, has been very, very difficult for many people. Here's the thing that I've noticed. People are they're more angry. They're very sensitive. They're emotionally disturbed. They have put themselves in a position where they feel that no one is there to help them or save them from the misery. Some people feel like they're ready to, as they call it, crash out. And I'm not encouraging that for anyone to crash out. I'm saying to you that if you made it this far, you can go a little bit further. Now, 2026 is right around the corner. We're weeks away from that. And I know there are going to be people that are going to be saying, I'm going to have a better year. And you should manifest that. You should truly and embrace that. You should say that consistently. 2025, challenge me. 2026, look out. I'm bringing the noise. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to quit. I am going to work even harder. I know you're going to stand in my face. You're going to push back at me, but I'm going to push harder back at you. You have to have that mentality, okay? So for the individual that mentioned to me about or asked were they born to struggle, yes and no. Yes and no. We were born to struggle, but how far and how long do we struggle? You have to also keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that being uncomfortable doesn't mean that's a bad thing. Sometimes it's helping you to build better characteristics about yourself. There are a lot of people, I believe, that are existing in this world today that seem to be very comfortable with their life. When people say that they're enjoying their life, it's almost like they've never been touched or scathed with any issues or problems or struggles. And then when they do get to a point where they get knocked down and they're flat on their back, they don't know how to get up. Because most of their lives, they've been nurtured. They've been put in a position where nothing is challenging them. They don't feel like they're being tested. They're just living their lives. And that's fine. I think it's great that you can go about your day and not have a care in the world. I think that's okay to a certain extent. I believe you should always be aware that this won't always last. You should be aware that there is an ending to every story. You should be aware that the possibilities of you falling down, in most cases, are greater than you standing up. And the reason I say that is because we're all human beings. And we can't predict the future. We can hope for a better future. We can look for a better future. We can believe in a better future. But does that really mean that that future is going to be promised to us as individuals? So we have to put on, like I like to call that suit of armor. Be prepared for the unthinkable. Be prepared for the unnameable. See yourself in a position where you can honestly say, if this happened to me, will I be prepared? Do I have the mental capacity to absorb these situations that may occur in my life? A lot of times you see people going through challenges, and sometimes people will reflect back and say, I'm so sorry this happened to you. I wish you the best. I pray for you. You name it. And I think in most cases, people genuinely do care. But there are a lot of people that don't care. There are a lot of people that don't care about your circumstances. There are a lot of people that won't even pick up the phone to call you just to check and see if you're okay. But you may have been the type of person that's been giving so much of yourself to individuals, but you never got the love back. I remember a colleague of mine telling me that, Coach, you are living your purpose. And sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, I get to a point where I personally feel that I'm drained. I am mentally tired. And it's crazy to say that because I enjoy what I do. But do you realize that there are people out there that can drain you? They can suck the life out of you. And you don't have enough peace within yourself to enjoy the rest of your life. I've been there. In fact, at times I still deal with that. Right now, ladies and gentlemen. So as I said before, I'm not immune to struggles. I'm not immune to setbacks. I've been knocked down. I felt the pain. I felt the sense of loss. I don't know what direction I'm going from time to time. I've been at the crossroads. I've been in situations, ladies and gentlemen, where I don't think I have the strength to carry on. But then I go further back and I say, who else is suffering in the world today? Do it really have it that bad? I mean, have I took a look around the globe? I'm talking about globally, people, that there's someone out there right now. They don't have a place to live. They don't have food in their belly. They have nothing. And that's the scary part. So you have to look at certain situations and ask yourself, what do you do and how do you go about it? And that's the most important thing. So, in my opinion, I believe that we have to get to a point to where people need to understand that you're not the only one that's hurting. A lot of people are hurting right now. A lot of people are going through situations that they just don't know why they're going through it. And it sucks. It really does. My shirt, even though it's backwards, it says, get up or give up. Get up or give up. What does that mean for a lot of people? You're down right now. You're not feeling the best of yourself. You feel like the world is coming to an end for you. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do about your life today? I mean, how are you going to get up and get to the next level in your life? I mean, you can lay around, sit around, cry, mope, do all of those things, but someone else out there in the world right now is suffering worse than you are. Now, if you say that has nothing to do with me, it's got everything to do with us. The world is chaotic, no question. The world is hurting, no question. But it's not the world's fault. The world is a beautiful place, and we have the opportunity to live in it today. right now. But what is living? Are you living out your best days? Do you think because you don't have the best job, or maybe you don't have the best car, or maybe you don't have that big house that you've been wanting, or maybe the best person, your best companion, do you call that living? Because at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, no one is responsible for your happiness but you. Your peace is more valuable than anything else on this earth. Your peace. Your peace is valuable, because how can you, as a human being, function without peace? Now let's talk about that. Peace in general is costly, because there's going to always be someone disturbing your peace. It's going to be some unforeseen circumstance disturbing your peace. Somebody wants to test your peace. You could be I don't bother anybody. Coach, I don't bother anyone. Why is people bothering me? All I do is I get up, do my business, go to work, take care of my family, drive. I don't even like, get into an altercation if someone cuts me off on the highway. I just keep my peace. But I promise you, ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to be bothering anybody for someone to bother you. I mean, let's think about it. A gazelle could be drinking water right now, and a lion is sitting back ready to do his thing. The lioness or the lion, they're hungry, they're ready to eat. They don't care. The gazelle just drinking water. But you notice that the gazelle or the impala, they're looking around. Every time they take a sip, they look around. They're paying attention to their surroundings. They're ready to do whatever they got to do to live. Okay? A lot of us as human beings, what we do is we get very complacent with our lives. And we go about our day like nothing can touch us. We don't pay attention to our surroundings. Now, I'm not necessarily saying physical, like somebody's going to attack you and harm you, but you got to know that circumstances are always on the prowl. They're always hunting. And if you don't have the capacity to be able to withstand these challenges, you're going to break down and it's going to physically affect you. Now, as I said before, ladies and gentlemen, I'm guilty of that. Sometimes, again, I think I'm pretty strong, not just physically, but mentally. I can endure a lot more than what most people think. That's why I'm in the position I'm in today, I believe. But I'm also a human being. And I'm not in a position to judge you, to tell you if I can do it, you can do it. That's not the kind of guy I am. And there's a lot of people out there that do that. I did it, you can do it too. That's not true. Nobody can do you better than you. Now it's up to you to make a decision where you want to go in your life. That's a fact. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to go into some other things here. We're going to talk about the battles that you're facing. How many of you right now are dealing with something? And of course, this is a rhetorical question. Feel free to answer it back, and I'll do my best to respond to you to the best of my ability. What are your battles like right now? Are you prepared for these battles that you're facing? Let's think about it. Holiday seasons, I believe, can be very depressing. They really can. There are a lot of people out there that are going out of their way to buy Christmas gifts. They're doing things that maybe they're not in a position to do because it's the holidays. And they feel that they're obligated to do certain things because it's a holiday or it's the holiday season. I've had numerous of Christmases that I didn't celebrate. You know why? My mom and dad had hard times. There were times, ladies and gentlemen, where I'm from, we didn't have no heat. We didn't have no food. My dad got laid off his job. It was tough. I never thought, and I've said this before in some of my previous speeches in the past or motivational videos, I never thought I'd see my dad cry. I literally saw my father cry, a grown man cry and I saw him fall to his knees. And I remember it's like yesterday. I was a younger child at that time. My mom literally walked up to him while he was in the middle of our living room crying on his knees. And my mom walked up to him and she hugged him. And I get a little emotional talking about this, but it was surreal, man. It was like, wow. I witnessed my mom and dad at the lowest, and they had 3 kids. I'm being the oldest, my younger brother, my baby sister, and we had some tough times. There was some times. I mean, especially in the wintertime, being in the Midwest, man, you can only imagine how cold it was. But we got through it. Somehow we got through it. And we thinking we're going through some tough times. Go back to think about what your parents and your loved ones may have went through, or maybe even you. And sometimes people don't even like to talk about these things. That's why when I look at social media, a lot of times people like to talk about all the cool stuff they do, or all the fun stuff they do, or how great they are, or how amazing they are. And sometimes you see a lot of drama on social media too. But nobody seems to talk about the real stuff. It's like entertainment has become toxic, in my opinion. We see a lot of things that I feel is irrelevant. But again, who am I to judge someone to what they want to watch or what they want to see? But going back to that struggle, when I saw my dad crying and saw my mom putting her arms around my dad and watching this grown man cry, I was like, wow. Most women would probably would walk out their husband's life, or vice versa, if they wasn't bringing anything to the table. But you know what I saw? I saw love being brought to the table. I saw, for better or for worse, being brought to the table. I saw a strong, amazing mother, a wife, hold her husband up when he felt that he was at his lowest. I saw a man rise up again, my father, to become the man he was. And I saw and I witnessed the challenges that we've endured. We got through it. Maybe as a family, maybe as just individuals. And as a child, you don't really understand these circumstances, but you understand. And this is why I think sometimes hard times are necessary for us to get better. And we should not be allowed to have easy days all the time. We should not have this mindset of thinking that life is supposed to be good all the time. We should not think that we deserve an easy outlet all the time. I believe that we as human beings, we should be put to the test. We should be challenged. We should be broken almost, but we don't quit. We get back up again. And this is why I wear this shirt from time to time. It says, get up or give up. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? My father got up. My mother helped him up, and they got up, and things got a little bit better as we got further in our lives. But I knew sooner or later I would have to become a man. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, yes, I have experienced the hell on top of hell. And I had to go back home, even after, before I got married and things like that. I had my own challenges. I slept out of my car. I lived in hotels from time to time. I didn't want to go back home. I felt that I was a man at that time. I had because it really was really tough for me at that time. My mom was just being mom. Baby, come home. It's okay. Dad was like, son, what do you think you want to do? What can you do? What will you do? He didn't turn me away, but he made me understand that, hey, what are you going to do with your life? So, ladies and gentlemen, I accepted the fact that I didn't want to go home. I stayed out for 6 months. I made something happen. I did what I had to do, but I got through it. I went home. My mom would make me a meal. And every once in a while she'd say, hey, lay down on that couch. Do whatever you need to do. And then some days I just didn't want to be there because I felt like I was going backwards instead of going forward. Now, I'm not condemning people that got to go back home to their parents. Please don't take that the wrong way. But you got to know that there's going to come a time where you're going to have to get out there and you're going to have to fight that world. You're going to have to accept those challenges. You're going to have to accept the fact that nobody's going to always be there for you all the time. And this is what I'm talking about. And this is why these battles that you face as an individual will happen. And you got to be prepared. You have to accept the fact that this is what it is. And there's absolutely nothing you can do except get through it as a human being. So those are the battles that we all eventually will face. There's something else someone brought to my attention. What do you do when life gets hard? Going back to the battles. Again, life. What does it mean to live? Why am I in this world? Going back to, was I born to suffer? See, it all goes back to life. Life. Why am I alive? What am I living for? What am I doing? Where am I going? I'm confused. Why is this happening to me? What did I do? We go through this every single day. Every living human being, especially adults, are always asking the question, what did I do to deserve this? What did I do? I don't bother people. I don't hurt people. I pray. I talk to the Almighty. Whatever it is you do, and you're asking yourself, what did I do? Why am I going through this? Did you ever think for 1 minute, ladies and gentlemen, that not everybody is built like you? You realize that the people that love to have the easy way, they're not as strong as you think they are. They are not as powerful as you are. They don't have the mental capacity. They don't have the spiritual capacity. They don't even have the physical capacity. They're faking it. Don't you buy into the nonsense of thinking because someone looks like they got it going on that they're doing it when they never done it. You don't know strength until you experience weakness. You don't know power. You don't know how to adapt and overcome because you've never been knocked down. That's the thing that kind of gets to me, because you see it on social media. You see all of these celebrities and famous people, they're living out their best lives. And you buy into that nonsense and you think because they're doing it, that's what you're going to do. What they're doing may not be for you. That is not your life. That's their life. Now, what are you going to do about your life? Don't live in somebody else's bubble. That's what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. This is why the chaos is happening, because we're always in this rat race to think that we got to be what other people are. But we refuse to be ourselves. We refuse to step up and say, I am going to do better within myself. I know it's going to be tough. I know it's going to hurt. I know it's going to challenge me, but I can't run away from it, because sooner or later, if I don't build up this mindset, this strength capacity, the endurance, because I'm going to tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, physical endurance is the last thing. You need spiritual endurance. You need mental endurance. Everybody's always running around how strong they are. I bench press 405 and all. I get it. I'm in the fitness industry. You see it all the time. It's nothing wrong with people acknowledging how fit they are. But muscle don't save your life all the time, ladies and gentlemen. You can have all the muscles in the world. You can run as many marathons as you can, but you can't deal with life. There are a lot of people like that. They like to show off how powerful and how strong they are in the gym, but they're the weakest one in the room. That's why I don't buy into that nonsense. You don't know nothing about strength until you have been knocked down. Don't you ever think for 1 minute because you see somebody with a fabulous body that they got it going on. That don't mean they strong. They look strong, but what kind of hell have they been through? Just because you see it on the outside don't mean that they got it going on the inside. That's what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. We have got to stop buying into this fictitious way of looking at life. My thought on social media is this. It has become toxic. YouTube, Facebook, you name it. People are putting things, mostly negative things out there, and it's disturbing. It really is. And I don't want to be a part of that. So when I put my information out, I want to stay on course. I don't want to be what everybody else is being because it's a trending thing. That's a whole nother conversation. I don't do trends, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry. If I am not the guy that you feel that gets your attention, that you feel I'm not entertaining enough, that I don't do cartwheels or foolish things to get you to follow my channel, I can live with that. Because somebody else out there understands where I'm coming from. And I don't need to put on a show for you to show you the truth. Now, that doesn't mean my truth makes you a lie. But let's be realistic, ladies and gentlemen. We don't have time to be wasting time doing nothing with our lives. So keep up the good fight, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I can say. When it comes down to strength and peace, someone else, again, asking me about strength and peace. How do you find peace, coach? Well, you're responsible for it. Bottom line, no one has or should have that much power over your peace of mind. No one. When it's all said and done, ladies and gentlemen, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart, if today was your last day on this earth, what would you do today? What would you change today? What would you do to get to the next level if today was your last day? See, that's how you have to live your life. Like, today is my last day. This is the last chance I got to better myself. Not next year, but right now. And this is why 2025 has to be more of a idea of, wow, this is really tough. For me, if the good Lord blesses me, 2026 is going to be a reckoning. I'm going to find a way to get better than I was last year. I'm not going to dwell on what I lost, although it can hurt, although you feel like, what did I do, or et cetera, et cetera. But you can't do nothing about the past if you don't have your right mindset for the future. In fact, you need to be focusing on what you're doing today in your life, at this moment. So as I said before, ladies and gentlemen, I am not an expert. I don't think I'm that smart enough to go around telling people how to live their lives. But I have a general idea of how to get through it. And I've experienced enough in the years that I've been in this world, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to go through a hell of a lot more stuff. But I realize that you can't do nothing if you give nothing. What sacrifices am I going to make? Am I going to really be able to endure what's coming for me? Because something is coming for me, something is coming for you, something is coming for all of us. You are not going to have easy days every day. Do I want easy days? Yes. Do I want them every day? No. Do I want to have some peace where I can relax? Yes. Am I going to be able to get through the challenges when my peace is disturbed? I should. Can I adapt? Absolutely. But some people out there right now, some of you have given up because someone tested you. Because life threw you a curveball. And you felt that it was over for you because this didn't work out for me, or that didn't work out for me, or this person broke my heart, or this person left me hanging. What are you going to do about it? You're going to lay around in your misery? You're going to just say, hey, I'm done? You do realize if you leave this world tomorrow, in 3 months, 4 months, or whatever, nobody's going to care. I know it sounds harsh, but no one's going to care. You know why? Because life doesn't stop because you gave up. Life doesn't stop because you leave this world. That's why you have to be thankful for whatever you are enduring, and you have to just say, you know what? I got to fight this. I got to pray on it. I got to keep my head up. I know that I'm going through this for a reason. No one could take this but me. It was designed for me, and I'm being tested. But can I pass the test? Can I get through this? Ladies and gentlemen, listen. We are at the end of the year, just weeks away. And no one is guaranteed that tomorrow they'll have the air in their lungs. Why waste time and dwell on things that you really ultimately, in most cases, have no control over? If you're worried about people talking about you because they see one thing and then things didn't go the way you wanted, and you're worried about people looking down on you, I can understand. Because there are a lot of people that don't support you. There are a lot of people out there that are waiting for you to fail. There are a lot of people out there that don't want to see you get up and push forward. There are a lot of people out there that don't love you enough to see you succeed. It's an evil time. There are a lot of people out here that are just not good people. And I know you may even question it, like, I've done it. I'm scratching my head, I'm like, how's that person making it? They do a lot of, you see it. How is this person able to be at the top of their game when you can almost smell or see or even hear the evil around them? And you may think, well, that's called you're judging. No, I'm not. You see it. You've seen it. We've all seen it. Like, what is he doing? What is she doing? Well, the truth is, ladies and gentlemen, the world, and again, it's not the world's fault. We're living in a time where good is evil and evil is good. And that's a fact. Pay attention. Pay attention. If you think I'm lying, keep watching. Pay attention to your surroundings. Like the gazelle. The predators are out there. Don't get so blinded and you have your blinders on and all you see is what's in front of you. That's not always the best way to look at life. Life has got a lot of moving parts. And it's not about hating on other people. You just got to see it for what it is. People thrive off drama. It's something about drama and nonsense and maybe even ignorance that seem to stimulate people's minds. And they enjoy that. Well, I'm having a bad day in my life, so I might as well watch somebody else do something really destructive and stupid and crazy just to get a laugh, just to get an arousal. Whatever the case is, you have got to understand that at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, you have got to get to a point where you have got to isolate yourself from the rhetoric and start focusing on the life that you have been given today. Because believe me, negative energy only gives more negative energy. If you're surrounded by negative things, you become a negative individual. You have absorbed this negative stuff, the stuff that's out there today. You have absorbed it. You have become a product of your environment. It stimulates every, look at that. Look at that drama. Look at that. What's going on? You click, look at that. And then you have a conversation about it. And you're not even taking care of your own issues, but you're worried about somebody else's issues. These people that you're talking down to, or these people that you're paying attention to and their issues and their problems, they don't care about what you're thinking, especially if they're at the top of their game. Even though it seems like they're falling from their grace, where are you at? Where are your skeletons? What are you doing with your life? How far are you going in your life? You're judging everybody else and their issues, but what about your issues? Everybody's got something going on. Like I said before, successful people go through challenges just like people who are not as successful. But what is success? You know, the truth about success is living day by day and making the most of your life. Whether you got $1 million or $2 in your pocket. Well, you shouldn't be walking around $1 million in your pocket. But hypothetically speaking, if your bank account is larger than the guy next to you, I wonder who's really the happiest. You think because you got $1 million+ or millions and millions of dollars in your bank account that makes you a happy individual? No, that makes you a target. And everybody's coming after you. They're waiting on you to slip up. They're waiting on you to mess up. They're waiting to take advantage of you. You have got to know that at the end of the day, you have got to get better. You have got to be better. You have got to look better. You have got to pray better. And listen, everybody has their beliefs. Do I pray? Absolutely. Do I believe in God? Yes, I do. Am I a religious person? No, I'm not. But I know I didn't wake myself up this morning. I know I don't have that much power that I can get up out of my bed and move around like I do without someone or something out there in the universe that gave me the ability to do what I do. So no, I'm not that type of guy that thinks that I'm better than the world itself or I'm better than the next man or the next woman. I don't believe that. There's a reason why I have this purpose. There's a reason why I'm alive. There's a reason why I'm walking on this earth. There is purpose within all of us, ladies and gentlemen. But it is not your purpose to quit. So 2025, ladies and gentlemen, is coming to an end. But that does not mean it's the end of you. I hope and I pray that whatever I spoke on today gave somebody that tuned in a sense of hope, a sense of attitude of knowing that they could be a better human being, that they can work day by day to get better as a person. And I didn't tell you to change overnight. I didn't say go cold turkey. I say do your best to avoid things that are going to put you back in this dark place to make you feel less of yourself or put you in a position where you feel that you have to be in competition with other people just to feel that you belong. You are a beautiful person, no matter what you think of yourself. Every day, look in that mirror and say, I'm a beautiful person and I got a purpose in this world. And it's not going to be easy. And stop thinking it's supposed to be easy. And stop feeling that you have to be comfortable to be successful. No, you can't. I'm telling you, you're going to get yourself in a position where you're going to get knocked around a few times. And then you'll get to the point where you get tired of getting beat up and then you start coming up. And even if you do get beat up, you know how to endure it. You can bend, but you won't be broken. All right? Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your life. As I said before, it could be 1,000. It could be 2 people standing in front of me. I stand on my business. I believe in my business. I believe in myself. I believe in my pain. I believe in my victories. I believe in my losses. I believe in my life. And I'm not ready to give up on it. It's going to hurt day in and day out. I'm going to go through these challenges. I'm going to smile at times. I'm going to be angry at times. I'm going to cry at times. I'm going to feel all of the things that humans are supposed to feel. But I'm not going to be that human to give up on my life. Because I made it this morning. You that are tuning in, you made it this morning. You're up today. You're watching me right now. You're watching me. You're listening to me. I'm serving my purpose. You're serving your purpose. We're serving our purpose. Make sure your purpose is productive and positive. Don't be negative. Don't be evil. Don't be selfish. Know when to be selfish. Selfish to keep other people from disturbing your peace. But don't be a person where you feel like all that matters is just you. It depends on you and what you're doing with you. You have something that makes you unique and special. Don't be less. Be more. Don't be a gossiper. Don't be judging everybody and you didn't even take 2 seconds to judge yourself. Your challenges, that's what they're there for. My challenges, that's what they're there for. Everybody has something to do, they got to go through in their lives. Everybody. But stop buying into this nonsense of thinking because you see somebody on TV or you see your best friends or friends rolling and killing and doing their thing and you want a piece of the action. What did they do to get it? And do you have the mindset and the strength and the capacity to do it? Do you have the time to put the work in? I'm not saying everybody that's out there doing their thing is doing it wrong, but some of you out there are not prepared to work. You don't want to get out of bed. You sleeping all day. You too tired. You don't want to work. It's too hard. I don't want this. I want it easy. Why can't it just be easy? Why can't I take a magic pill? Etc. All right. So that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for tuning in. I want to thank you for being a part of this journey with me. And again, I'm going to do my very best to make these live videos a little bit more productive. And hopefully that, I can continue to make an impact in somebody's life out there. Maybe I can't reach thousands or tens of thousands of people, but if I can reach one, my purpose has been fulfilled. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I love you. I appreciate you. Please take time to listen to this or share it with someone if they have time to watch it. And continued blessings to all of you. Keep it moving. And from the bottom of my heart, have a great holiday and conduct your business. Coach Payne out.